because half the time it's not personal at all.
Not at all. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So then you've gone into this Abu Dhabi role, and now you're kind of in this entrepreneurial, freelancing, doing a bit of everything. So this transition into being, I guess, career focused to entrepreneurial, if I can call it that, focus. What have been the biggest things you've learned in that transition?
Yeah, wow. So I did radio on Abu Dhabi for a year until Channel 4 poached me over to Dubai. So then I was at Channel 4 hosting the breakfast show for 5 years. And that was a grind. That was like 4 a.m. wake ups. It was a lifestyle choice. It really was. Doing a show from 6 to 10. I did that solidly for 5 years. We were named the #1 show in the country, you know, and I absolutely loved it and adored it. And you know, those years I was unemployed that I was telling you back in the UK, the power of visualization and manifestation is real. Like, I know
Talk to me about it.
We hear it and we see it and we consume so much stuff that just sounds so fuzzy. That's like, yeah, visualization, manifestation. I cannot stress it enough. It is one of the key things that got me to where I am today.
I agree.
So I remember sitting there in my bed whilst I was crying because I was unemployed and miserable.
Tissues in tow.
Yeah, exactly. And I came to Dubai on and off growing up anyway. And I was like, you know what, let's just see what's out there. And I was on channel4dubai.com. And I saw like the presenter lineup and all these faces. And I remember, like, I kid you not, Erica, I was sitting there for like an hour just staring at that lineup, staring and just visualizing myself in that lineup. And I kept saying, you're going to be there. You're going to be there. You're going to be there. And I mean, it didn't happen overnight. I would love to say that. But it happened literally a few years later where I was then hosting the breakfast show of that lineup. And so this kind of power of believing really changed the game for me. But that was a solid job. That was my dream job that I've been working all these years to be, you know, at the top of the game. For me as well, a female in radio. Females were generally considered kind of like giggle girls in radio. The guy was the main guy and the girl would just kind of laugh at whatever the guy says. That is just a classic radio setup. I was really lucky because my co-host and me had a 50-50 share. You know, we were very much like equal voices. But I loved the show. And it just got to a point where I was like, it is time for a change. And you feel it. You feel it in your bones. Like, you know it. And so I know, and from my community, I have a lot of people who talk to me about how did you take the leap? Like, how did you make that change? How did you believe in yourself? And it came down to one thing, and that was, which fear do I choose? So there were 2 fears. The first was, oh my gosh, but if I leave, I have a solid salary here. So financially I was covered. It was my comfort zone. I knew it day in, day out. I had a routine with it. The third was, you know, this was your dream. Are you going to let go of your dream? I was holding on to that fear of, but the unknown, what's going to happen next? And then that was one side of the fear. The second side of the fear was, okay, but are you still going to be here in 5 years' time? Are you still going to feel undervalued in 5 years' time? Are you still going to be saying to yourself, oh, Nimi, why are you here? Are you still going to be getting out of bed every morning feeling like it's more of a chore than a spring in your step? And that fear outweighed the fear before. I was so scared of staying stagnant that any fear I felt about leaving and taking the leap was just irrelevant to me.